Hi, my name is Julie Medina. Today we are going to be doing an activity called an Enviroscape. Alright guys, so we are going to be going over this activity that I've got here today. It is called an Enviroscape, and that word is kind of made up of two smaller words put together, so it is a compound word. The first part of that is enviro, right? So what bigger word do we think that comes from? Go ahead, what do you think?
Environment.
Environment, excellent. And the second part of that word is scape, and that comes from what other word?
Landscape.
Landscape, very good. So this is going to be our environment and our landscape for today. And we're going to say that this is the city that you guys live in. So what city is it that you live in? What city?
Orange.
Port Orange, Florida. All right, so this is Port Orange, let's say. We've got some things going on here in the town. We have a house, factory, a farmland, some construction up here, and we have this body of water right down here. So what body of water do we think that is? What do you think?
An ocean.
It can be like an ocean, okay, but before water leads all the way out to the ocean, a lot of it will go to a place like our Indian River Lagoon. So that's what we're going to say that this is today. All right, so let's say we want something really awesome to be brought here to Port Orange. What would you guys like to see built in Port Orange? What's one thing?
A space alien.
A space alien. All right, what else would you like to see built there? Let's get some
College.
suggestions. A college. All right, anything else? Any other things you want to see built in Port Orange? Go ahead.
A Lego tower.
A Lego tower. All right, so let's say we want to bring all of these things. A space alien on top of a Lego tower right outside of a new college right here in Port Orange, right? Now, if we're going to build any of these things, what's the first thing that we need to do to the land? What do we have to do?
Clear it.
Yeah, we have to clear it out, right? And we're going to be cutting down trees, grass, all kinds of plants to make room for all of these new things. And if we do that, we're going to have all of the roots of those plants be taken up with them. And those roots actually hold the dirt that's there in place. So if we take out all of these plants and their roots, and that dirt now is all loose, what's going to happen to it on the first windy day? What's going to happen? What is that? What is that? What's going to happen? Yeah, it's going to blow all over the place, right? And then it's going to blow all around the streets, down the drains, and into our water. Now, why do you think it's so bad for us to have extra dirt in the water? Why do you think?
Because it can pollute our seas.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to pollute the ocean, right? Why else is it so bad to have extra dirt in our water? What do you think?
They could eat mud.
Yeah, they might, all the animals might eat this bad dirt, and that's not very good for them. All right, is it easy for the animals to see if the water's really dirty? No, right? And if it gets really cloudy, what can't get down to the plants at the bottom to help it grow?
Water.
Not the water. Something else. Something else the plants need to be able to grow. All the
Sun.
way. The sun. Good. So the dirty water is going to get blocked out, or the sun's going to get blocked out by the dirty water, and those plants can't grow. And so this extra dirt has all kinds of problems for our water. All right. So
And
we're
the
gonna.
soil.
You're right, all that soil is going to get into the water, make it really cloudy. So we're going to go ahead and put some of this stuff on the board. This is going to represent dirt. This is cocoa powder. All right, so you're going to take a pinch of this and sprinkle it all over the board for me, okay?
Why?
Because this is going to represent the dirt. Just a pinch. All over the board. All right, perfect.
But it's not all around.
Do you want to take more? We can put more on. There you go. All right, I'm going to help you out a little bit. Okay, so we've got a really, really dirty board here from all of that extra soil being blown around since we took up all the plants. What does that smell like?
Chocolate.
Like chocolate. Yep, that is cocoa powder. All right, so now we have a nice clear area of land to start our building, and we want to start with a nice green lawn. Okay, so what is it that we put on our lawns to help it grow nice and healthy and quick? What do we call that chemical that we put? What is it?
Fertilizer?
Fertilizer, yep. So let's say I go to the store and I buy a bag of fertilizer, and it says for a lawn my size, I need 2 scoops of fertilizer. All right, but because I want my lawn to grow really well and really fast and tall, I put the whole bag on there. All right, why is this so bad for our ocean and for our lagoon? Why is it so bad to put extra fertilizer on our lawn? What do you think? What's going to happen?
It's gonna grow all over the seas.
Okay, So some of those plants might be growing, too fast or out of control. Anything else? Why else is it bad?
The fertilizer may spread.
Yeah, so the fertilizer that you put on the lawn is going to be used up by the plants, but the plants will only need a certain amount of it. Okay, they'll only need a little bit. If you use extra, it's going to wash out into the ocean, and lots of other things there are going to get to it first. Have you guys heard of algae before? Yeah, so algae is going to get to all of this fertilizer first, and it's going to start growing, out of control. All right, and it's going to grow really, really quickly, and it will start to take all of the oxygen and everything out of the water that all of these plants and animals need to keep them healthy. So we're going to put some fertilizer on the board here. This is Kool-Aid powder. Sprinkle that all over the board for me, and this is going to represent our fertilizer. Okay.
That fertilizer was brown.
It can be all different kinds of colors. All right, today we're using some pink Kool-Aid powder. All right, so next, let's say we've got our nice green lawn and we've started construction, and now a lot of all these equipments are coming in, and they are bringing in all the logs and all of this other machinery that they need to build this stuff. What is it that usually brings these things in? What is it brought in on? Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know? All right, what do you think? What are they carrying these things on? Are they carrying them by hand? No, not usually, right? How do they get there?
Heavy machinery.
Yeah, so like big trucks, maybe some trains, things like that. And what do all of these vehicles run on? Yeah. Gas, right? So all of these things are using gasoline and oil. So let's say one of them springs a leak. It's spilling oil and gasoline everywhere. Why is this so bad for a place like our lagoon or our ocean? What's going to happen if we've got all of this stuff leaking out into the streets? Yeah.
The animals will get sick.
Yeah, the animals are going to get sick, right? So how will it affect an animal like, let's say, a fish? Why is it bad for a fish to have oil in the water? Yeah.
The water can squirrel and he can't get air from the gills.
Yeah, so the oil might plug his gills so he can't breathe. What else? How about for an animal like a pelican? The pelican doesn't even live in the water, right? But why is it bad to have oil?
Baby fish could get really oily, and it's bad for the pelican's health and digestive system.
Okay, good. So the pelican might eat one of these fish that has oil in it, and that's always really bad as well. Okay, so it can affect many different animals in different ways.
But it will drink the water too.
Yeah, or they could even drink the water as well. You're right. So all of these things are really bad for our ocean and for our lagoon. So we need to make sure that if there are any oil leaks or spills, that we need to clean them up as well as we can. All right, so I need you to come on up here and pour some of this oil on the board. This one is a liquid, so go ahead and just pour some of that on there for me, wherever you would like. Very good. Awesome.
There's still some more.
Oh, okay. You get it all?
The factory. No.
All right, I think we got it. Perfect. Okay, so next, let's say our lawn that we fertilized really well earlier is starting to grow really well, okay? It's now up to my shoulders. What do I have to do?
You have to cut it down.
Yeah, I have to cut it, right? And we usually will use a lawnmower to cut that grass. And so let's say some people have the lawnmowers that they have the big bag on the back, and then they put the little grass clippings in the bags, right? And then leave it by the side of the road. Have you guys seen that before? Yeah? Okay. How about sometimes when people cut their grass and then they take out their big leaf blower and then blow it all out into the streets? Why is that one such a bad option for our Indian River Lagoon and for our ocean? Why is it bad to do that?
The wind can blow it into the ocean.
Exactly. So the wind might blow all this grass into the ocean. And we said earlier that, sometimes the sunlight will get blocked out by maybe these floating grass clippings, or animals might mistake this grass for their own food. And so it's really bad for us to have all of this extra grass in the water. All right, so I need you to throw some of this grass on there. This is parsley. Sprinkle it wherever you would like. Okay.
It has to get in the water.
Yep, some of it did make its way into the water like we said it was going to. Okay? So, next, let's say people have heard about our exciting things that are coming to Port Orange. They're moving into the area and they're bringing all of their belongings with them, all right, including their pets. So, how many of you have pets at home? Do you guys have pets at home? All right, what kind of pets do you have?
Dogs.
Dogs. All right. So, let's say you take these dogs for a walk, right? What do they do when you take them for a walk outside?
They use the restroom.
Exactly. They go to the bathroom, right? So, this is going to sound really funny, but what happens to dog poo if you leave it out in the yard? What happens to it? Yeah.
The grass gets swell.
Okay, so it will kind of make its way down into the ground, right? Now, some people may think, well, this is like a fertilizer. It's not so bad for our grass, all right? And that's kind of true, except what happens is there's, especially under our ground here in Florida, there's kind of a natural filter that's there. Lots of rocks, gravel, sand, things like that are going to take that stuff out of the ground for us to make it clean. But underneath our ground here, we have what we call the aquifer. It is our underground water system where we get our drinking water, our showering water, and our cooking water from. Do you want the extra dog poo to get through the ground and down into that water? No, that's pretty gross, right? And the thing is, nature, like we said, is meant to handle certain waste of a lot of the animals that are natural here. But are dogs natural here to Florida? They're not, right? We don't see wild packs of Chihuahuas and Huskies running around on their own, right? Those are our animals. We brought them here. They're our responsibility. So we do need to pick up after them. So does that mean that you need to go out there and pick up after deer and raccoon and manatees? No, right? Because those are natural here to the environment. They and nature can take care of all of that waste. But if we overload it with all of our dogs and all of our other animals, it's really bad for the environment and for the water. So I need you to put some rat droppings that I saved here all over the board. Just kidding, they're chocolate sprinkles. Okay?
Yay.
Yay, that sounds much better, doesn't it? All right, chocolate sprinkles everywhere. Okay. Oh, just a pinch, teachers. There we go.
A lot of it is
That's
in
a
the
lot of
water.
dogs. All right.
Because a lot of people have dogs.
Yes, a lot of people do have dogs. You're right.
So I have
Okay.
to grab it.
So next, what is one type of pollution that we haven't really talked about yet, but a lot of people do it, and you see lots of it everywhere, all over the ground sometimes. What do you think? Yeah.
Litter?
Yeah, litter. All right, so let's say all these people that have moved in start to use all this new stuff, and usually they leave things behind, right? We call this litter. Now, whether it is on purpose or by accident, sometimes this stuff can be very harmful for the animals, right? So one piece of litter in particular, though, that I want to talk about is something kind of small, only about this big, brown. A lot of times you'll see people throw it out the window and step on it. What am I talking about? Any idea? Tiny little thing like this. What is it? It's really bad for their health, too. You'll see them maybe toss it on the floor and step on them. See them kind of everywhere. What is it?
Cigarettes?
Yeah, cigarette butts, right? Now, usually, if a person throws one cigarette butt on the ground, whenever you throw that or any other type of garbage into the environment, it will start to break down. All right, and every kind of garbage takes a different amount of time to degrade completely. Okay, now a cigarette butt, that one tiny little piece of garbage, takes about 15 years to degrade in our environment. All right, and if it makes its way into the water, it will take twice as long. That's about 30 years that one little piece of garbage is going to be breaking down in our environment. And that's only one cigarette butt. Do you guys ever really only see one cigarette butt out there? No, right? Usually you see a bunch, so you can imagine how bad that is. And that's only cigarette butts. That's not the only kind of litter you see, right? What other kinds of litter do you see out there that people throw on the ground? Yeah.
Wrappers.
Wrappers, yeah. What else?
People may drop plastic bags.
Okay, plastic bags, which are, again, really bad. One more. Anything else you see out there that people throw on the ground a lot? What is it?
They may accidentally drop and not know it. Chocolate.
Some chocolate or candy, you're right. Okay, so all kinds of things like that that people will leave on the ground.
If it's squid through a wrapper, it's not soy.
Yes.
I'll eat it.
All right, so all kinds of things that people will leave on the ground. And again, some of these things will take a lot longer than the 15 years that a cigarette might take. So you can imagine, again, how bad all of this stuff can be for our environment. So it's important that we pick up after ourselves. Okay, so go ahead and take some of this for me. This is bird seed. And throw it all over the board.
She knows that. She has birds.
Okay, one more. Perfect.
The farm is good except that things.
You're right. Okay, so now here in Florida, all right, first of all, how is your board looking? How is the city looking?
Not good.
Pretty gross, right? It's looking kind of disgusting. And here in Florida, especially during our summers, what happens pretty much every day here at around 3 o'clock? It gets really hot, and then what happens? What happens?
Maybe.
Yeah, what goes on?
Start going to the beach more.
Okay, they start going to the beach more. What happens right around the afternoon times usually? It gets really hot, and then it cools us off how? What?
Rain.
Yeah, rain, right? So I'm going to go ahead and be the rain, all right? So we're going to spray the board with all this rain. And as it rains, depending on how heavy of a storm it is, sometimes it will help clean out the streets just a little bit, pouring all that stuff down our drains, all right? But once in a while, there is a really big storm that comes through here in the summers. Again, we board up our houses for them. Sometimes we run away. What kind of storm am I talking about?
A hurricane.
A hurricane. You want to come up here and you can be our hurricane, okay? You will be our Category 5 Hurricane Angie coming through. Pour that all over the board for me.
What about the poor water?
All right, very good. So
It's so polluted.
it is. So Hurricane Angie came through. All right, she wreaked havoc all over Port Orange, flooded our lagoon.
Can it be a tornado?
Right. No. But we can, you can help me out up here, okay? So we did flood our city here and our lagoon, but eventually these flood waters recede, right? Like we said, there's all that underground stuff where this water will make its way to. Do you want to pull that plug for me? You can pull the plug and put it right up here. Put that right up here for me. Perfect. And so this will make its way to that underground water source where, again, we get our drinking water, our showering water, our cooking water from. All right?
The dog poop is in.
So we're going to let all that drain out.
The dog poop is in.
And if you look under here, all right, I'm just going to move this out of the way just a little bit. All right, you can see what that water looks like under there. Can you see that? It's pretty gross, right?
And
now
the
again,
dog poop is in.
Exactly. There's dog poop in it. There's all that grass that we had talked about, all kinds of stuff that's in that water. Do we want to be drinking this or using this to shower? No, probably not. That's pretty gross, right? Now, luckily enough for us, we have water treatment plants that will make sure that this is all healthy and clean for us to use before it comes to us. But do animals have the choice of having clean and filtered water? No, right? They're stuck drinking whatever we leave for them. So it's important that we help keep this stuff cleaner so that the animals don't have to worry about having and drinking all of this really dirty water. Right? So what are some of the things that we can do to help keep this water just a little bit cleaner? What do you think?
Clean up the litter.
Okay, good. We can pick up after ourselves. How about picking up after other people sometimes? Do we need to do that? Yeah, because even if you see a piece of garbage on the ground, first thing a lot of people say is, well, it's not mine, right? And they'll walk right over it. But just because somebody else threw it on the ground doesn't make it any less harmful for our animals. So it's important sometimes not only to pick up after ourselves, but after other people once in a while. What else can we do? What's another thing we can do to help keep our water cleaner?
Cleaning the water source.
Okay, good. So we can clean up our water. You can do a pickup, again, of maybe some litter or other trash. How about those 3 R's that we talk about sometimes that we can do at home, like with your bottles or your plastic stuff?
Recycle.
Good. Recycle. All right. Do you know what the other R's are? Yeah. Reduce. And what's the last one?
Repair.
It'll help repair the environment if we do these things, but there's another word. There's another word that we usually say.
Reuse?
Good. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Excellent. So, water bottles, for example, okay, those plastic ones that you get at the store, you can, once you drink all the water out of it, you can reuse it by putting water in there, and that will help reduce the amount of garbage that you use. Or if you really want to reduce the amount of garbage, you can not use those bottles at all and use one of those big, heavy plastic kinds, you know, that you can use again and again and wash in your dishwasher. All kinds of ways that we can help out. All right, so you guys did a great job with this. Hopefully, you know, you'll keep all this stuff in mind next time you go out there, and continue to help out our environment by reusing, and recycling so that we can keep that water just a little bit clean. All right, so thank you for your help, guys.